I've got all these thank yous, and I'm not gonna make it through them. You have any water, Janet? No, I'm kidding. No. Ooh.
Janet came prepared.
Yes.
Oh. Oh. Thank God for Janet. But from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank Denver, because Denver's been great. Colorado's been great to us, to me and my family, and kind of took us under their wing, and it's been, we couldn't have asked for anything better. And the fans, the support that we've had, has been unbelievable. But as I said, physically, and it's really hard for me to admit, but I couldn't do it anymore. And as I said last year, I never want to stop competing. I just can't compete at the level in this game that I want to compete at anymore. And that's really bottom line what it came down to. Secondly, it came down to family, and they've been great for 16 years since the kids have been born. And the family life is focused around me and football. And it's time that it focuses around them. I couldn't have asked for a better mom and dad, a better wife. Number one, a better wife. She put up with everything. And it was a lot. You're talking about a temperamental guy. You're looking at him. So he's tough, I'm tough to live with. And thank God she's still with me. And the kids, God's blessed me with a beautiful family. I can't count all the blessings. And that's why I'm so thankful. And why I guess it's hard to walk away, because I cannot explain in words how much Denver and everybody's meant to me. The fans, the support, Janet, my mom and dad. If I can be the parents that my mom and dad were to me, to my kids, I'll have been real successful in that area. My dad has been my mentor. And I guess I should blame him for this, because he's the reason why I'm up here crying in front of you. It's all your fault. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't have, without his tutelage and advice. And he was always great about advice. He always said, well, you talk about it with your dad. And I could never get Dad to give me an answer. He'd always direct me in the way that he thought I should go, which was always great. But he asked me the quality questions that would take me to the best decision that I could make. And even when it came down to retiring, I asked him, because he was always the guy that I said that if I start going downhill and physically my abilities are eroding and I can't do anymore, you better be the first one to tell me. And he said, you know what, I can tell you that I don't believe that right now, but he said, you're getting more prone to injury, and he's right. And I found that out last year, and because it was a tough year. I never had to go through so many different things just to get ready for practice, and that's what made it tough. And we're down in Miami, and it was nice and warm, and everything was great. And I told Danny Marino, I said, no wonder you're planning on playing another 20 years. I said, if you practice in warm weather all the time, I'm about to be able to play another 5 years. But getting out in that cold water or that cold weather is it's tough. And I just I couldn't do that anymore. I think that as we took the family vote that we had last year, and they all voted for me to come back. This year they, they the two oldest daughters kind of left it up to me, even though they were going to miss playing on the field after the game and those type things, but really kind of left it up to me. Jack wanted me to play. He can't figure out, we're going to miss training camp. What do you mean we're not going to training camp? He loved training camp. I took him up to the last 2 years, and he wanted me to play just so I said, you want me to just go to training camp so we can go to training camp? We can go to training camp. And then Juliana's worried that Jack has to fill my shoes right now. And that little Jack's going to be the next quarterback of the Broncos as soon as Dad leaves. And that's the first time she's ever showed concern for her older brother. So that's why that was even a bigger shock. But they, I think they're all in line, and on top of that, the thank yous to the Bronco fans. I see Edgar Kaiser back there. Edgar Kaiser, thank you so much, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be with the Broncos. You made that happen for me, and then we got a guy that came in here that I think is the best owner in professional football and professional sports. A guy that wants to win, and that's what it's all about. He goes beyond his means and does everything he can to win. And as a football player, that's all you can ask for. And as the guy that at the top wants to win, because as a football player, if he wants to win, you got a chance to win. But if he doesn't care about winning, then it's tough to win at the player level if we don't have that from the top. And the organization, I can go through Mr. Bolin, not only a great owner, but I consider him a great friend. Fred the Bulldog Fleming saved my life the last 3 years, and has been an unbelievable help to me. Jim Sacamano, there's the guy that never brings good news, but I love him, and he's had to deal with me, which is tough. He's been great. Bill Harpo's taking care of us. Doug West. Those guys that work behind the scenes that have just been buddies of mine and helped me so much. Steve Antonopoulos, 16 years, has kept me in one piece. He's kind of like my mother. My mom always used to say, and when I started playing football, she'd say, I raised you, and I tried to take so good care of your body and fed you well and all this stuff, and now you turn around and go do something, and all you do is beat it up. And so that was my mom who said, she didn't like she loved the game, but didn't like me getting beat up. But then and that's where Greek came in, because Greek was always putting it back together. And for 16 years, he's a guy that is your best friend when you're not hurt, and a guy that you can't stand when you are. And then as soon as you're not hurt, you love him again. But he's a guy that is a great trainer, a guy that does everything he can to get you back on the field. But bottom line is he has the player's best interest in mind. And you can't say that about all trainers in the league. And after 12 surgeries, a lot of rehab time, Greek, I'm going to miss you. I don't know why I'm crying. I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be able to see you. Ooh. And this last, Gary Kubiak. It's my room dog for 9 years. Great coach. The only thing I'm not going to miss about Koob is when he was my roommate up in Greeley, and his family was usually down in Texas, so we'd have the weekends off, and Gary usually stayed there. So I'd come home, because Janet and the kids were home, so I'd come back we'd come home Saturday night and go back Sunday night. So get one night at home, so I'd go back at night, go back there Sunday night, and I'd walk in, and Gary'd be in front of the TV, and we'd have two little separate rooms, and Gary'd be in front of the TV, and I'd see him all wrapped up in my blanket. And the bed was nice and made and everything. I go look at my room. Look in his room. His room is like perfect. His bed's made, everything. He's ripped my room up. He's took my blanket, and he's taken my blanket out there to sleep with, and then he leaves it out there and never put it back. So, Coob, I'll never forgive you for not putting my blanket back. But great friend, great coach, and a guy that made my job easy because of his knowledge of the game and him knowing me. You think this is the first time I've retired. Coob's talked me back into retirement 12 times, or back into playing 12 times, because I've quit 12 times previous to this. I've quit, but Coob always talked me back into it until this time. And then, last but not least, this guy. He's the best. He is the absolute best at winning football games. And thank God I got a chance to play for him before I was done. If I had one wish, I wish I could have I'd have two wishes. I'd keep my kids and my wife, and I'd be 28, because I think it'd just be beginning. And that's what I'm going to miss, is that I can't hang on and be around, because the Denver Broncos are going to be around a long time because of Mike Shanahan and his ability to coach football teams and the relationship that we had. He came in my second year, and he tells me this today. He says, I was only 30 years old when I came. I said, if I'd have known you were 30 years old when you came in, I'd have never listened to you. Not that I... But as our position coach and my personal coach, what he did teaching me the game and just making me the player that I am today, I couldn't have done it without him. He's, as I said, he's the best. And the Denver Broncos are going to be winners for a long, long time because of these two guys up here and the type guys that they have on the team right now. And that's the best thing, is that the quality of guys that are on that football team that have been really in this organization.
Those on ESPN, we've got to send you away. You've got Arena football coming up next, Orlando taking on Iowa. For those on ESPN News, press conference coverage continues as John Elway makes it official today.